Welcome back. It was a crime which pushed everything else off the front pages. 3 men, all known criminals, found shot dead in the Essex countryside. It was a cold-blooded, professional killing. The victims had many enemies, but which one wanted them executed?
And welcome back to a new video on the Essex Boys case. As always, if you are enjoying the content, please do give the video a thumbs up. And if you're interested in the Essex Boys case, or simply true crime in general, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. The alleged getaway driver for the triple gangland murder in Rettendon claimed he took 5 months to spill the beans to detectives because he feared ending his days in jail. Darren Nichols, the prosecution's star witness, has spent 6 gruelling days in the witness box, and cross-examination is expected to continue well into next week. He has claimed Michael Steele and Jack Womes shot dead drug dealers Pat Tate 37, Tony Tucker 38 and Craig Rolfe 26. Both men deny the charges, and yesterday Graham Parkins QC, defending Steele, told Nichols, quote, "You are both a blatant and persistent liar. An opportunist, I suggest, grasping at straws to save yourself." He told the jury that Nichols did not name Womes and Steele as the killers until after police had arrested him for the murders in May 1996. The bodies of Tate, Tucker and Rolfe were found in a Range Rover at Rettendon on December 7th, 1995. During interviews in May, Nichols told officers the defendants had gunned down the 3 men to pay back Tate for cheating on a cannabis deal. Nichols has admitted he did want to set up 54-year-old Steele and 36-year-old Jack Womes, but he claimed his plan was to pass on information about their drug deals to a police officer dubbed Detective Constable A by the court, and denied dreaming up a tale of murder. Mr. Parkins told him, quote, "I suggest by December the 6th you knew Mr. Steele very well and had the means to make up a plausible story about him and his colleagues." Nichols replied, "Yes, if I wished to do so, but they did do the killings." Steele sat shaking his head in the dock at Nichols' reply, and Mr. Parkins continued, "Are you falsely accusing these men when you know who was really responsible?" Nichols said, "They did it." Mr. Parkins responded again, "You want to protect yourself and others who are not before this court." Nichols replied adamantly, "No, they did it." He admitted his main aim in becoming an informer for Detective Constable A was to get Womes and Steele arrested. Mr. Parkins, clicking his fingers, told him, "You had the means to get them arrested just like that." Nichols said, "Yes, but because I gave them a lift that night, I felt involved and thought I could spend my whole life in prison." Mr. Parkins told the court Detective Constable A, who he described as corrupt, was friends with the boss of a company the electrician Nichols had worked for, and the pair often went clay pigeon shooting together. A forensic scientist who gave evidence at the beginning of the trial revealed the cartridges used to shoot Tate, Tucker and Rolfe were the size 7.5, popular with clay pigeon shooters. The trial continues. The following newspaper article is from the 21st of the 10th, 1997, with the headline, "Drug Baron had blamed witness for shooting." A witness at an Old Bailey gangland triple murder trial told yesterday how one of the victims had blamed her for an earlier attempt on his life. Annette Damont said murdered drugs baron Pat Tate claimed she was responsible for a shooting at his house in November 1994. Tate, 37, suffered a gunshot wound to his arm following the attempted murder at his bungalow at Gordon Road, Basildon. Tate and 2 associates, Tony Tucker, 38, and Craig Rolfe, 26, were blasted to death with a pump-action shotgun as they sat in their Range Rover in a deserted country lane in the Essex village of Rettendon on December 6, 1995. The trio had been lured to a remote workhouse lane on the promise of a large cocaine deal, unaware an ambush had been laid. They had earlier been angered at poor quality cannabis allegedly supplied by 54-year-old Michael Steele, who is jointly charged with the triple killings along with his accomplice Jack Womes. Steele of Angers Green, Great Bentley, and 36-year-old Womes of Main Road, Brockford, Suffolk deny the charges. The jury heard that Miss Damon had known Tate for about 2 years before his death. Mr. David Lederman QC, representing Jack Womes, asked Miss Damon, quote, "Tate, you would agree, was a deeply unpleasant person?" Miss Damon replied, "Yes." Mr. Lederman added, "And for no reason, he, Tate, blamed you for him being shot?" Miss Damon said, "Yes." She told the court she had accompanied her then boyfriend, car dealer Barry Dorman, on a day trip to Ostend on November 16, 1995. The couple met with Tate, Craig Rolfe and 3 girls at a cafe bar in Ostend. Later, Annette, Dorman and Tate went to a hotel room near the pub where she told the jury she saw bundles of notes laid on a bed. Miss Damon said, "I thought it was a car deal. I don't know how much there was. Pat was very hyped up. He looked on edge." It is then alleged that Dorman and Annette took £30,000 cash back with them to the UK, which was later collected from Dorman's office by Tucker and Tate. The car dealer later told the court he had sold the Range Rover to Tate and his pals, which was later discovered with the bodies of the 3 men inside on the morning of December 7th, 1995. It is alleged that Steele was involved in the importation of cannabis from Amsterdam to the UK during August 1st and November 17th, 1995. Both Steele and Womes deny the importation charges. Steele also denies possessing a pump-action shotgun. Co-defendant Peter Corey of London Road, Clacton, denies conspiracy to import cannabis. The trial continues. The following newspaper article was from the 7th of the 11th, 1997, with the headline, "Man accused of murdering drug barons gives his side." A man accused of executing 3 drug barons told yesterday how he acted as a go-between for a gangland Supergrass and one of the murder victims. An Old Bailey jury heard engineer Michael Steele would pass on messages between police informer Darren Nichols and drugs baron Pat Tate. Bodybuilder Tate, 37, and pals Tony Tucker, 38, and 26-year-old Craig Rolfe were gunned down as they sat in their Range Rover in a deserted country lane in Rettendon Essex on December 6, 1995. The villains had been duped into attending a false drugs meet, unaware that an ambush had been laid for them. They had earlier been angered by poor quality cannabis allegedly supplied by 54-year-old Michael Steele. Supergrass Nichols, who is the main prosecution witness, claims he unwittingly drove Steele and 36-year-old Jack Womes away from the murder scene at Workhouse Lane. Both Steele of Ainger's Green Great Bentley, Essex, and Womes of Main Road, Brockford, Suffolk, deny murdering the men. Defendant Steele, spending his second day on the witness stand, told the jury he played no part in importing drugs into the UK. He said, quote, "I was the go-between. Pat Tate would be in contact with me all the time, as was Darren Nichols. I would pass on messages between the 2 men." The defendant later told the court, in referring to Workhouse Lane, where the murders were carried out, that he had no knowledge of the location. He also denied claims made by Nichols that he had used the land as a spot to take his girlfriend in his courting days. Steele and Womes deny conspiracy to import cannabis. Steele denies possessing a pump-action shotgun. Co-defendant Peter Corey of London Road, Clacton, Essex, denies the charge of conspiracy to import cannabis. The trial continues. If you would like to learn more about the Range Rover murders, then click on the video in front of you now. You will also see the Essex Boys playlist, which has all of the videos concerning this case in one convenient folder. Many thanks for joining me for this video. I look forward to seeing you all again for the next one. Take care. Cheers.